I'm Gabriel Morency for Sports Interaction. Before we get down to the business at hand, I want to pay respect to the one and only kid. As you can see, I'm an old school Montreal Expo fan. And like Linsanity, Sports Interaction is global. But the fact of the matter is there are a ton of Canadians amongst us, and I know there's a lot of old school Expo fans watching this video right now. Now, sports is all about comparisons. This guy was as good as that guy. This guy's career was parallel to this guy's career. And when we talk about Gary Carter, a lot of people bring up Johnny Bench. And Gary Carter really was one of the greatest two-way catchers in the history of Major League Baseball. That's why he's in the Hall of Fame. Gary Carter reminds me of another former Cincinnati Red and, incidentally, another former Montreal Expo, a guy that I actually ran into and met for the second time in Las Vegas a couple of weeks ago at the UFC. That's right, Charlie Hustle. Pete Rose likes to take his hot wife down to the UFC in Las Vegas, Nevada. But Pete Rose is the winningest ball player in the history of the game. Look up the numbers. They speak for themselves. Nobody wanted to win more than Pete Rose besides Gary Carter. They don't make them like Gary Carter anymore. Old school Major League Baseball players that might have been smiling. They might have lived a clean lifestyle off the field, but they'd run over their own mother to score a run to win a baseball game. I wish more professional athletes played the game like Gary Carter did today, and maybe we wouldn't have so many bad beats after these games, because truth be told, today's professional athletes, they don't care. Some of them do, and that's why some of them are winners and most of them are a bunch of losers that screw us all the time. With that being stated, rest in peace, kid. You're one of the best ever, and your competitive nature will never be forgotten. Now, speaking of global dominance like Sports Interaction, how about Linsanity? Let's take it to the world's most famous arena. Let's break down this weekend's card. Let's start in the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden. The New York Knicks are red hot right now. They can't lose since they put Jeremy Lin into the starting lineup, and now I know they get New Orleans on Friday night, but who cares? This is all about the nationally televised matchup against the defending champion, Dallas Mavericks. That's right, the Dallas Mavericks roll in to New York on Sunday afternoon. Now, Jeremy Lin, I mean, the guy is global. He's on CNN, he's on ESPN, he's on TSN. Hell, he's even on the Chinese communist media outlets. Everybody loves Jeremy Lin right now, and he hasn't really even had a pure nationally televised game. Now, the fact of the matter is, every game's on national television in today's era. Hell, I'm on national television every day. But this is real national television. ABC, Game of the Week, Linsanity. We got Dirk Nowitzki and the defending champion Mavericks rolling it. The New York Knicks are for real, and they're getting healthier. And people that think that Lin is going to be able to fit in with Amari or Carmelo Anthony are crazy. Amari Stoudemire tore it apart with Steve Nash in Phoenix. Carmelo Anthony never wanted the ball in his hand in the first place. I think the New York Knicks can do some damage. I think they're going to win this game against the Dallas Mavericks. I think they can do a lot of damage in the Eastern Conference in the playoffs. I think they can compete with anybody except the big three in the Miami Heat, because the Miami Heat aren't really just the big three anymore. The Miami Heat right now are that scary, dangerous, good team that everyone thought they could be last year. The pressure's kind of off right now. I don't know why LeBron's talking about returning to Cleveland. Settle down and win a couple of championships in South Beach. And I think this is the first year that they do it. I don't even like the Miami Heat. I think that they're despicable people for the most part, but they're a hell of a basketball team. When you look at the NBA right now, and how good is the NBA? And, Vegas T-Bone, one of the regulars on my program, said, how good is the NBA when this Jeremy Lin guy comes off a couch and starts to dominate? It's probably a pretty good point. Nobody's going to beat the Miami Heat. They're too good. And I've told you guys before, I don't have the patience to wait for my Pop-Tart to pop out of the toaster. But I will play this future. When are we going to get the Miami Heat at plus money? Right now you can get the Miami Heat at plus money in an NBA future. You're not going to be able to do that in a month's time. No matter who they play in the postseason, they're going to be heavily favored. So we love the Miami Heat, and I also believe that the Kentucky Wildcats are going to get it done. I'm watching a lot of college basketball. There's a lot of soft, flaky teams out there. Kentucky are not one of them. Although Kentucky, they may be the best team in the country, but they're not involved in the best college basketball game of the weekend. If I would have told you a couple of months ago that Murray State and St. Mary's was going to be the game of the weekend, you would have said I'm crazy. This is a bracket buster. Normally, bracket busters, the losing team is on the bubble. We got a bracket buster between Murray State and St. Mary's. Doesn't matter who loses this game. Yeah, it's incredible. We got Murray State and St. Mary's. One of them's ranked 21st. The other one's ranked 16. It's a bracket buster. It's a matchup of two top 25 teams. Who would have thunk it, huh? We got Murray State and St. Mary's as the game of the day. That being stated, I think St. Mary's actually a better basketball team than Murray State. Murray State's record is very impressive, but they haven't played anybody. And as good as Murray State is, there's another team down the road that's a hell of a lot better in state, and that's the aforementioned Kentucky Wildcats. I love the Miami Heat to win a championship, but I believe the Kentucky Wildcats are going to get it done as well. I say that now because the value is on the board right now as well. Now, speaking of value, that's one of the cool things about betting on NASCAR. That's right. It's that time of the year, baby. Gearheads, rejoice. NASCAR is back with a Budweiser shootout. This is an interesting race. They take the top 25 drivers, so the riffraff left in the garage. Nothing but the top 25 drivers on the circuit in the Bud shootout. Now, it's not really an exhibition race because, they're racing for $200,000, goes to the winner. And, they're testing out their rigs for the following week as we got the duels and then, of course, the Daytona 500. This thing's for real. It's entertaining. And since there's no points at stake, but there's cash on the line, these drivers will push the pedal to the metal and they'll drive a little bit recklessly. That's why I want the other kid in my back pocket. May you rest in peace, Gary. May you rest in peace. But last year, I was a day late and a dollar short when it came to Brad Keselowski and the freight train that he is. This kid's a badass. He's not intimidated by anybody on the track. He raced with a broken foot last year. He's got a great car. He's got great teammates. He's got a great garage. There's no reason that Brad Keselowski can't start this season the way he was tearing it apart last year. I'm going to take a look at Keselowski in the 15-1 range in this shootout. Casey Kane also on a new teammate Jeff Gordon. Watch out for Jeff Gordon and Casey Kane to be deadly this year, and I think it could start this weekend as well. Casey Kane in double digits to win this race. He's going to be in my back pocket as well. I'm Gabriel Morency for Sports Interaction, and as always, may the winners be all of yours.